Welcome back, everyone, to Good Morning Delaware. Joining us now is Jasdomin Santana, the local author, children's book author, and creator of a passionate celebrating Dominican culture. We are so excited she is here. Welcome. Welcome. So it's Dominican Heritage Month, and you are a children's book author and content creator. But we're here to talk about not just Dominican Heritage Month, but how it segues into your children's books. Welcome and good morning, and tell us about you.
Sure, thank you for having me. So about 2 years ago, around 2023, I had my son. So I have a 2-year-old daughter named Ava and a 1-year-old named Noah Santana. And they kind of both inspired me to get on this journey. I realized after moving really far away from my family and friends, I had this little kind of, I'd say more like a panic attack, because I realized that they weren't going to grow up the same way I did, so they wouldn't really know our language. They weren't surrounded by folks that knew how to cook Dominican food or by our music, etc. And so
the culture.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I decided to write my first book, which was called Mangu con tres golpe, which is a really famous Dominican dish. But with little cute food characters, because I was just starting to teach them how to eat our food.
Okay.
And it was just for them, but then one thing led to another. I have 12 books now.
Wow, congratulations.
And I shared it on social media, not thinking anything of it, and then it just kind of exploded, and I realized that I wasn't alone.
Wow.
Well, your books are beautiful, and the illustrations alone are captivating.
Yeah.
Right away we saw, and you could see here on this beautiful canvas you have here. Let's talk a little bit more about this canvas that you brought with us to showcase.
Sure. So this is Cinderalis. It's a play on Cinderella. If there's anything that a lot of folks know about Dominican people in general, is we have very unique names. And so I knew that I couldn't call her Cinderella. Right. But I wanted to give it as a gift to my daughter when she turned 2, because I grew up on Disney, but I didn't see myself reflected, and I wanted that to be different for my own daughter. Right. So I created Cinderalis, and from there, again, just getting feedback from the folks that started following me, they were like, oh my God, this is great. Like, what other Disney characters? And so that kind of set, I call it the Dominican Fairy Tales collection. Right. Kind of kicked that off. But during that time, because I didn't think anybody was going to read my books, I was wrong, I started experimenting with different freelancers. It's been a very interesting journey. Sometimes I loved the illustrations, sometimes I didn't, because I didn't feel like it captured the culture. Right. So you'll notice that although I have 12 books, a lot of them look very, very different. Right. But it's intentional, because I'm kind of like testing, learning, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't.
Yeah. And these books are bilingual.
Yes, so all of my books, except with the exception of 2, they are available in English and Spanish, and then the ones that are in English are Spanglish. Okay. So they'll have some of the Dominican slang kind of weaved into the story, because I thought it was really important to make sure that it was in culture. Okay. But also because I come out of it through the lens of a Dominican American, which is very different from someone that may have been born on the island. Okay,
now you gotta do this for me, right? For our Dominican brothers and sisters out there, right? That's your camera right there. Go ahead and give a 45-second spiel, commercial if you will, about your book and your language, in the Spanish.
Okay. Para todos que están viendo la cámara hoy, quiero que busquen a mis libros. El primero, Cinderalis, la princesa dominicana. También ahora salió Bella y el Galipote. Y tengo también Dominican ABCs. Y con todos estos libros, ojalá que lo disfruten y que conozcan a la cultura.
Thank you. Yes. Awesome. I wanted to get that out the way.
So I definitely think you should be featured on Buenos Dias Delaware.
Buenos Dias Delaware, yes.
Because that also has an incredible Latina community that tunes in, and I know that it would be even more impactful. But I'm happy that you are on Good Morning Delaware. Yeah, DETV Kids. But I'm very happy that you're here with us on Good Morning Delaware, because I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't know if you were catching it, that I'm a huge advocate for promoting literacy, and being that it is, I love to read month. February is a big month going into February, March, and April. And April is drop everything and read month. So this is the next 3 months, very big for the literacy community and reading books and encouraging children to read books. And so this was big for me when I found out you were joining us. But I have to say, I appreciate your creativity and the illustrations on all the different books. And I did notice the diversity in the illustration, and I love that you tie in the culture. And that is a driving force for you, that you want to not just help the community by encouraging reading, but also your heritage, promoting your heritage and educating the community about your heritage. And I think that's super special. And here at DETV, we embrace different cultures and diversity, big here. So we're glad that we're able to give you a platform to showcase Dominican Heritage Month and also what you're doing as a children's book author. So do you plan to write more books?
I do. I'm actually releasing at least 3 more this year.
Wow. Unstoppable.
Right.
Okay.
And she said she was just trying.
Yeah.
I think it's very also therapeutic for me. So when I had my kids, I had them pretty much back to back, like Irish twins. And it was a little bit difficult for me coming through like the postpartum phase. And so I took to writing as a way to just kind of relax, be creative. And I found that throughout, like it's really helped me just like, even if I'm feeling down, like writing a story or sharing it with my kids. But yeah, I have so much more in store. And I recently launched my YouTube video, which is a little plantain, and he's like a Dominican American plantain, and he goes around teaching like just some historical things around what's the flag, what do the colors mean. So kind of like a little Miss Rachel twist, but with a plantain. And he sings. And so one of the clips that just went viral is him singing a really funny remix of Wheels on the Bus, but it's Wheels on the Guagua, because guagua is what we typically say in Dominican slang what a bus is. And I found that it's been really helpful. Yeah.
It's working.
Are you from Delaware?
So no, so I'm actually not from Delaware. I moved here 3 years ago from New York. So New York, born and raised. And then I wanted to change.
What part of New York? He knows.
The Bronx, New York, Yonkers.
Okay. We have. I don't know if you know, we have a huge
Brooklyn.
following from Brooklyn, New York.
Well, I worked out of Brooklyn.
Huge following
so it's
from
all
New
very
York.
small.
And so we definitely. It's good that you're on the show because the New Yorkers are tuning in and listening. But it's wonderful that you're here in Delaware, and now this is home, right?
Yeah.
Where can people get the book?
Yes, so they can either go to my website, jasdomin.com, but they're also available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, etc. I also have them on Audible now, which was a recent release. And that story was kind of really touching. There was a mother that had reached out because her kids were blind, and then another mother where her kid was Dominican, but she was from a different race. And she was like, look, I love your books, but I don't know how to pronounce them. Certain words, and so that's where I put 2 of my bestsellers on Audible now.
Oh yes, that's great. And what age range can you think that
from
different
0,
children?
Yeah,
okay.
Anything from 0 to like 15. I would say the fairy tale ones are really popular with older kids, and then the one that you have Dominican ABCs, like it's my bestseller.
Yes, I can tell this one's great for even just reading to your little one. Easy read, and I already love the illustrations, and then it's in both English and Spanish, which I appreciate that. So if someone wants to learn Spanish, this is also a great way to familiarize yourself with the words and the slang, which you incorporate, which I think is important because many don't know, even though it's Spanish, there's so many different versions of Spanish, the dialects. And I know that just from being Italian. My family's from the southern part of Italy, and there's a dialect that we speak that's very different from the formal Italian language. And so it's important to understand the different cultures and the different dialects. So that's really nice that you're educating us and the ones that are picking up this book. So really significant.
Oh my, look.
Really, I really love these books.
This is a great
Beautiful,
tool.
beautiful presentation.
Yeah.
of all of your books, and I really admire the illustrations. Very colorful, very prominent. You can see, and just for this one alone, if you're a Cinderella lover,
Exactly.
then you'll
For all the
connect.
little girls.
Yes, you'll love the princesses, right? You'll
Yeah.
love that. Do you see there's a need for what you're doing? Do you accept donations? Are you looking for that, or is this just something you pour back into the community and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, get the books, share them with those that you love. You touched on something that was really important. So I wrote this, yes, for my daughter and those that, like me, probably weren't born on the island, but I found that a lot of folks that just want to get to know about the Dominican Republic outside of our very beautiful beaches
Right.
has been a great way for them to really kind of get to know the culture. A lot of things that are prominent in my book, I have a did you know section at the end, and I have food recipes.
Okay.
And then my YouTube video, they also do the little recipes. So it's
Nice.
been a great way to just get to learn, how is our food made? What are some important words? So it's for those, yes, if you're in the culture, you're gonna recognize it right away. But if not, great. This is a wonderful way for you to really get to know like our music, for
Right.
instance, or
Right.
like we're known really well for our culinary expertise. So I think it's for everyone.
I love it.
I
love
really
it.
appreciate that you said that, and I'm sure the YouTube channel will really help with the music.
What's the YouTube channel?
So it's Tiny Dominican Explorer.
Okay.
And you'll see he's a little plantain, goes around singing, teaching little kids. It's been wonderful, and I think it's really stretched me from writing to like voice acting to like
Right.
making lesson plans for teachers. Like it's really kind of pushed me to try a lot of different things.
Right.
This
And
is
that's what happens
wonderful.
when you have an idea. It stretches you. Well,
Right.
congratulations
Yes.
and much success with this. This is an amazing tool that I know every community can benefit from.
Yes, and thank you again for joining us, and we wish you continued success as you write the next 3
Yeah.
plus books,
Yeah.
and you thrive with the YouTube channel. And again, don't forget about us here, because
Yeah.
we'd love to have guests back on the show to just catch up and see how they're doing. But this is really great. So thank you again, Jasdomin, for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right.
What a great show promoting literacy.
Yeah.
And being that it is I Love to Read Month, what better way than to encourage all those to continue to read? And, they say that studies show that reading to your little one
Early.
Yes, 15 minutes a day will improve their self-esteem and
Yeah.
confidence, and that
Yeah.
is a fact. So just keep that in mind, that it's very important to read to your little ones, or read to the classroom, or encouraging children to read, and even adults,
Yeah.
because you have to continue to practice to read as you get older, because we get distracted with social media, and that's not the same as picking up a book and
Yeah.
reading it. So just keep that in mind, that you take that time to go old school, if you want to call it that, pick up a book, whatever age you are, and make sure you continue to read, because there's so much more than just learning when you read. And the more you read, the more you will learn, and the more you will grow.
That's it. PSA.
Yes.
Vincenza Carrierius. I love it, Vincenza.
Thank you,
I
thank
love
you.
it. All right, are we leaving here? Are we closing out? Is that it? Taking a
Yeah.
break? Closing out the desk?
We are
We're
closed.
going back to the desk. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll see you in 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30
Don't go
seconds.
anywhere.